Hello and welcome to another IELTS video. Today we are going to run through 10 questions that will test your lexical resources. If you find this video helpful, please visit my blog at IELTS.com and my website for the online ESL community at eslmeet.com. My hope is that when you complete this quick quiz, that you will post the number of questions that you were able to get correct in the comments section of the video. Now, before we start the quiz, I would like to run through a quick example question. So basically, we're going to read an essay together, and at 10 different points in the essay, you will be presented two options for wording, and it is up to you to choose the correct option. So in this example sentence, we have the students' lexical resources were quite stunned or quite impressive. And what you need to do is you need to select which word is correct. And if you selected impressive, you would be correct. Okay, so now let's get to the essay. This is an essay question that appeared in the Emirates in January of 2012. The essay question reads, "Nowadays, young people admire sports stars, though they often do not set a good example. Do you think this is a positive or negative development?" And I'll give you a few seconds to reread the question. Okay, so now what I have done is I have written an essay for us, and at 10 different points in the essay I have provided you, the student, two options for wording. So let's read through the essay together. I will pause at each question, and you can mentally choose your answer, and then I will give you the correct answer, and you can record how many questions you get correct. So from the beginning, the essay reads, the admiration young people hold for celebrities is not a new phenomenon. Throughout, during history, youths have been inspired by people with outstanding athletic ability. So I'll give you a second to read that sentence to yourself. So of course here the correct answer would be throughout history. Throughout history, youths have been inspired by people with outstanding athletic ability. Often I see students that use the word during, and they use this word incorrectly. During is usually used to describe a period of time that to the present moment has finished before the present moment. So we could say, for example, during the Second World War. But if we say during history, well, history is something that's ongoing and is continuing up to today. So we would use throughout history. Now let's continue. It is argued that this admiration brings with it more positive than negative issues, or more positive than negative ramifications. And I'll give you another second to read this sentence to yourself and choose your answer. And the correct answer here would be ramifications. Issues is a word that means problems. Ramifications is a word that means results or conclusions. So here we're talking about something that brings about or brings with it. So we need a word that would mean conclusions or results, not problems. This will be proven by looking at how sports figures both instill inspiration and teach life lessons to young people. Okay, so that's the introduction paragraph of our essay. Now let's go to the first supporting paragraph. Firstly, celebrities often display extremely developed skills, which can help to spur young people towards being physically active or towards a life full of physically active. Okay, and to explain the word active here is acting as an adjective. So we could not use a life full of, because this would be something coupled with a noun. So this would be towards being physically active. For instance, school children are often driven to exercise in an attempt to become superstars, or in an attempt to emulate superstars, such as Sachin Tendulkar, Lena, and Kobe Bryant. Okay, and here the correct word would be emulate, which is a word that means to copy or to just the only word I can think of that is a synonym is copy. So to act in the same manner as superstars, to emulate. As this additional exercise is good for their health, it is difficult to argue that the inspiration celebrities bestow upon young people, or the inspiration celebrities leave upon young people, is entirely a bad thing. And here we would need a word, a verb that is coupled with upon, which would be bestow. We can't say leave upon young people, that doesn't make any sense. Bestow upon young people is entirely a bad thing. Thus, this shows that the admiration people hold for sports stars has positive implications, or the admiration people hold for sports stars has positive reasons. So here the word implications means results, and reasons means causes. And here we're trying to show that something is concluding. So this shows the admiration people hold for sports stars has positive conclusions, or helps to reach positive conclusions. So the correct answer would be implications. Now let's go on to our second supporting paragraph. Although the negative character figures of many sports celebrities are often called into question, or although the negative character traits of many sports celebrities are often called into question, it is felt the public mistakes professional athletes make can act as good morality lessons for young people. just give you a few seconds to reread the beginning. Okay. Now, when we use the word character and we're talking about certain qualities of a person's character, we couple it with the word traits. Character figures doesn't really have any meaning at all. So these would be character traits. So although the negative character traits of many sports celebrities are often called into question, it is felt the public mistakes professional athletes make can act as good morality lessons for young people. A good exhibition of this occurred when Canadian runner Ben Johnson dishonorably lost an Olympic gold medal due to steroid use. Or a good image of this occurred when Canadian runner Ben Johnson dishonorably lost an Olympic gold medal due to steroid use. And here we're giving an example, so the word exhibition would be the correct answer. This incident showed young people around the world that drug use is a shameful practice. As this example illustrates, often the public errors athletes commit can act as good lessons for adolescents. Or, as this example is shown, often the public errors athletes commit can act as good lessons for adolescents. So here we're trying to state clearly that this example proves something. And if we use the passive phrase is shown, that would be awkward and incorrect. So here we would say, as this example illustrates, often the public errors athletes commit can act as good lessons for adolescents. Okay, now let's go to our conclusion paragraph. And we have one last question, question number 10. After looking at the above, it is felt to hold athletes in esteem does not bring with it entirely negative consequences. It is assumed the historical admiration people will retain for sports stars is not going to change into the foreseeable future. Or, it is assumed the historical admiration people retain for sports stars is not going to change into the foreseeable future. So here we're talking about historical admiration. This is something that is not going to begin in the future. This is something that has been true in the past and is true until now. So we would use simple present. People retain. So it is assumed the historical admiration for people retain for sports stars is not going to change into the foreseeable future. Okay, that concludes our quiz. Please leave some feedback if you find this sort of exercise helpful or if you find this exercise not helpful, so that I know in the future whether I should make another exercise like this or not. And just for fun, if you like, feel free to post your score out of 10. How many of these questions did you get correct? That concludes this lesson for today. Thank you for listening, and have a nice evening.